This is a video recording for Sonia regarding tips and tricks of booking flights and accommodation. So just for an example, I'm going to use the flights that the the latest thing that I've booked, which was for um, RER network events on the 14th to the 17th of June. So obviously, the most important thing is the date, so we know what time um, the events is and when the event starts. So it starts at 3:30 on the 14th. Booking flights, I think it's pretty obvious. Just go to Qantas. Um, how long do I use? If it would, that refuse to work. Second. Okay, so it's finally loaded. I believe originally we were looking at Brisbane and Gold Coast. So one of the first thing I do is if we're looking at two separate destination or for the flights, I'll just go to Google Map and I know the event is in Main Beach, so just go Main Beach to Brisbane Airport, and it will show on Google Map just how far it is, and we can compare between Brisbane and Gold Coast Airport that way. So according to this, it takes an hour and 3 minutes to travel from Brisbane Airport to Main Beach. I'll just change that to Gold Coast Airport. Here you go. Which is 39 minutes, so it's a lot faster. So we're going to go from Gold Coast Airport instead, preferably if it's cheaper as well. So let's just start booking for the 14th to the 17th. Now we're going to go flexible with dates just in case we want to leave on the Thursday instead of the Wednesday. It's for Carrie and David, so 2 adults. Search for Okay, so as you can see, the price is 729 to 859 for business. Um, because the event starts at 3:30, and we know from Brisbane to Main Beach it'll take an hour, so we'll give it an hour and a half, 2 hours for the plane to land, get their bags out, travel, etc. Maybe even 2 hours and a half, depending, just in case the plane goes late or they want to check in, just to be safe. So it starts at 3:30. So I would recommend maybe getting this one here. This arrives there by 1:30. Obviously, the one afterwards is way too late. It doesn't even give you an hour to get to Main Beach, traffic, etc. So I would go with this, maybe even earlier one if you're going for cheaper price. So that's from Brisbane, and on the way back, it actually ends at around in the afternoon as well, around 3:30 actually. So if you go on the way back, if we're going on the same day, I would book that again 2 hours just in case traffic etc. Since it takes an hour to get there. So that's 729 and 729. We're going cheaper with the flight up. And if we decide to go on Thursday instead, the prices you can leave first thing in the morning. So I'll say around lunchtime. Leaving there. So that's 729. Obviously, there's no seats there. So the next one is 1225. Is both the prices. Okay, there you go. But Since Gold Coast is actually closer, and we don't have to travel so early on Sunday, and so late on Wednesday as well, we might check out Gold Coast flights instead, and hopefully the price will be cheaper as well. So we always check both, just in case Brisbane's cheaper. Then in which case, maybe the hour drive is not that bad, considering how much we save. But other than that, oh, we might as well go with Gold Coast just to see. Alright, so in this instance, Gold Coast flight is definitely cheaper than Brisbane. We'll probably go with Gold Coast. Unfortunately, there's only 3 Qantas flights there. The rest is Jetstar, so there's no business class. Obviously, that would be the flight from the 3. That's way too early. That that would get there in time. Probably still early, so you still have some time for yourself. That would be way too late. And on the way back, we'll have to go with that one. Even though I think the events finish closer to 4 o'clock, so that would be just right. So yeah, and that's how I book flights. In terms of accommodation, we know exactly where the event is, so it's in Palazzo Versace, just Gold Coast. I always get this map up first, just so I know the area I'm looking at. Especially if when I find out where it is, it's only says Palazzo Versace. So first thing first, map knows exactly where it is. And even just looking at the map, you can see that's the Sheraton here, just across the road. It's a lot cheaper than where the conference is held. So that's a possible hotel, if nothing else. Some restaurant there. And SeaWorld's up there, and I know for a fact that there are a few other hotels up this way. They're probably expensive, and we're looking for something cheaper, so we probably go down south here for more hotel. I think Oscar Main on Main is also another hotel. But to find the cheapest price, what I'd normally go after finding the map is a new tab. Just go to TripAdvisor. This is for all hotels, service apartment, etc. They tend to show all the prices from different websites all in one spot, so you know which one has the cheapest deal on which site, etc. So when it finally loads, I'll just open a new tab at the same time because I'm using 2 sites that I normally use. The other one is Airbnb. I only found this recently, but this is basically holiday rental, and you rent straight from the owner. So you could be renting a house or their own apartment, but just for the duration of the holiday. And there's normally a minimum 3 night stay or something like that. But there's some that doesn't require minimum stay, so that's pretty good. And it's normally cheaper than the hotel price because of that. Anyway, the internet is very slow. TripAdvisor. Okay, here we go. Now that we know that we're going to Main Beach, because we've looked at the map there, let's just type in Main Beach. Here we go, Queensland, Australia. The dates, because obviously the prices of the room changes depending on the date as well, and how long you stay. Because sometimes the hotels can give you better deal if you're staying longer, etc. It's just updating. I don't worry about that. As it says, we searched 200 plus sites to find the best hotel price, which is great, which is exactly why we go to TripAdvisor. First thing I would do is filter it for ranking. ranking just this reviews. We want hotels that has good reviews and the ones that won't be horrible experience if you stay there. So that three options here that are pretty good. Sheraton, the one that we saw was just across the road from where the conference is held. So obviously that would be um, good options there. There's another one that's really cheap, 130 a night. So we'll just check that. And Oscar on Main, again, we saw that. That's further down south. Bit more expensive. We're not going to go with that because it's further away and more expensive, obviously. Um, and that's Palazzo Versace in case. Um, $405 a night, really expensive, but and obviously the review's not that great either. I normally would not pick this, but because that's where the conference is held, just in case, I'll pick that as well. So Sheraton, we know exactly where it is, so I just basically note the price and email it across. That's one option. Second option here, we'll just look at the map. Um, so this is a bit further away. 130 a night. It's yeah, so that's where we need to go. That's where the apartment is. It's not too far away and it's pretty cheap, so that's an option. Um, three. But overall, it's 4.5, so that's pretty good. In terms of, there's another thing that I check. It's just how good the place is. Like photos tend to give an indication. Um, Expert photos obviously gonna look a lot better than the travels photos. Let's just go to the travel photos. So the room looks pretty small just from that one shot there. Oh, that's cute. Which is to be expected. So they have a pool. It looks like it very much looks like a service apartment, not really a hotel, especially with kitchen, which is good. Sheraton's definitely a hotel. So just bits and pieces, just bits and pieces like that. Normally they do show the hotel star. I mean, it's stars hotel it is, but it's not there. Maldives Resort. Now I have my map still open, so I'll just go down here and see if, oh, see if that gives me the how many stars. Um, won't show me, so I'll just go straight to their website. Maldives. It's very slow today. Um, it is Resort Gold Coast. Here we go. Let's go straight to their site here. Okay, yeah, it's not doesn't have how many stars it is. Possibly because it's an apartment, but that's the three choices. And of course, Airbnb will do the same thing here, except we'll have to use Gold Coast, Queensland. I don't think they have a very specific check in, check out. It remembered my last search basically, which is right there. But normally it would be a lot more zoomed out. Um, you can see all the prices, and you just have to zoom into where you want to be. I just click towards SeaWorld, and as you can see, there's not really that many available. Yeah, so that's really expensive. That's fairly cheap. So we'll just go with that one because obviously that's cheaper than Maldives, around about the same area. So we click, so you can see it highlights when we put our cursor where we think we want its highlights on the map, blue, etc. So that's the 128. That's comparable. Um, it tells you the price, and it's actually only 120 a night, which is really good. We get the entire home and apartment. That's important. Obviously, you don't want to share with someone else. It's up to 4 guests. There's 2 bedrooms, which is exactly what we want because there's David and Carrie, and they want their own bedroom. 2 beds, fantastic. Um, what else? Bathrooms, too. And obviously, we can check out the picture um, just to have a general idea of what the place is like. 420, this is pretty good. I mean, it looks like it's in ground floor because you can see the car there. Yeah, so that's how I come up with all my accommodations. I then note the price, um, copy and paste the link, send the email across to you. Um, so Maldives loses out because it's 130, yes, but it's far away, and this thing is 120. It's a lot cheaper. Um, and they do have cleaning fee and service fee. Service fee is just it's always gonna be there, so just double check on that price actually. So 130 times 3 nights. It's actually cheaper the other place end up being because it's 430. But actually, that's one thing I miss. Sorry. Um, if you go to that Maldives resort, because it's an apartment and it's going for the cheapest price, it's normally going to be a price per. It could be just a 1 bedroom apartment instead of a 2 bedroom apartment. Obviously, the other one is 2 bedroom. So that's important because we need a 2 bedroom apartment. So it'd be better just double check that it's 2 bedrooms. As I thought it was 1 bedroom. That's the reason I didn't pick this one. It's 1 bedroom only, so we're gonna have to get 2 1 bedroom apartment, which ends up being really expensive. So we don't bother with that. Um, Sheraton, obviously, it's gonna be 175 times 2 because their hotel they normally don't have 2 bedroom, and 2 bedrooms are ridiculously expensive. Um, and yeah, so that's 431 for 2 bedrooms apartment. That's what we want. Hence, I then link this one, Sheraton, because across the road. Maybe we're alright with paying slightly more, a lot more, but yeah. And Palazzo Versace, just in case, because that's exactly where the seminar is held. So yeah, that's how I found my accommodation, TripAdvisor and Airbnb. Airbnb is actually really good for what it can do. Um, and that's that.